What's going on, Bears fans? Before we jump into today's video, hey, the bye week is over and football next Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. But subscribe to the channel because we're going to continue to have daily videos, the latest news, rumors, live watch parties for every single game. Plus, we'll be back live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central Time, like we are every single Tuesday. Let's keep the momentum going and keep this channel growing here on YouTube. You're watching Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. We got some news and some rumors to get into, mostly injury updates, at least to start things off, as Matt Nagy had his Monday press conference just about an hour ago. Teven Jenkins provided an update there. He will return to practice this week, which of course means they are opening, they meaning the Bears, are opening his 21-day practice window to return from IR. Now, this does not mean he has been activated from IR yet. This simply means they want to get him back at practice. They think he's close enough that sometime during the next 3 weeks they will be able to activate him. And of course, the Bears have invested heavily in him. He was the 2021 second-round draft pick, the second player that they traded up to get after they traded up to get Justin Fields. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see Jenkins play. I told you when he had the back surgery, I wasn't sure if he would return at some point this year. This certainly signals that he will at least return at some point, and that's important because whether this team somehow rallies to make the playoffs this year, which is unlikely, is kind of irrelevant. It's really about building for next year, getting young guys these reps. So heading into 2022, which we'll talk about later in the video, this team is in a good position to be a playoff team because that's really what the hope was from the beginning. Once they drafted Fields and Jenkins and kind of transitioned into a younger football team at some key positions. I'm excited to see him return. We'll see if he can get ready in time for Baltimore. That feels optimistic, but either way, he should return at some point in the next couple of weeks. If you're excited to see Teven Jenkins play, type me down in the comments, spam it, because, hey, second-round pick, you traded up for him. We were all concerned about the back surgery, but it appears he has recovered rather nicely. So hopefully he has a good week of practice, and hopefully we get to see him out on the football field very soon. So type me down in the comments. The question is, excuse me, as I'm battling a cold here, where would he plug in on this offensive line? I mean, do you put him right in at left tackle right away? Jason Peters, believe it or not, has been the Bears' best offensive lineman this year. I know he's not part of the future, but it's kind of interesting. Could you kick Peters inside, bench Mustipher, and put Daniels or Whitehair at center? That would probably create your best five on the O-line. I don't want to take Larry Borom out of the starting lineup at right tackle. I like what I'm seeing out of him as a rookie, and I want to see him keep playing. I'm not sure where Teven Jenkins plugs in and plays. Does he even start? I think it would be not great if he didn't, right? Unless he's clearly just not ready, like if he's just not starting caliber. But the fact that they put fifth-round rookie draft pick Larry Borom in with no hesitation at right tackle, and he's held his own, shouldn't you do the same thing with Teven Jenkins, your second-round draft pick? I mean, you invested in this kid. We need to see him play this year. He has not been able to play so far this season. So, I mean, I would like to see him get in there. Now, if they think he's your long-term left tackle, maybe you do have to put Peters on the bench or kick him inside to guard. That's not really fair to him, but he's 39 years old. He's not a part of your future, whereas Teven Jenkins absolutely is. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Should Teven Jenkins start once he's healthy? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think he probably should, so I'm going to type my Y for yes. If you get hit with a YouTube ad break right now, scroll on down to the pinned comment and reply with a yes or a no. Other injury stuff, DEON, could he be returning? He is also opening his practice window later today, so he will be back at practice. We will see if he is activated for this Ravens game, but get some good depth there. And I thought Bush was actually playing better than Tashawn Gibson at strong safety next to Eddie Jackson, so we'll see how that shakes out. Either way, a key special teams player, so he could return as well. Other injury buzz around this team. But first, Let's get to our sportsbook partner and our sponsor of today's video, BetUS. I had another winning weekend, and you guys can make money all season long as well by betting on the NFL. But go to our link below, chatsports.com/Bears. Use our promo code BEARDOWN. It's all one word, BEARDOWN. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus. And folks, I went 3-2 this week. I didn't hit on the Titans or the over in that Detroit-Pittsburgh game, but Patriots, wow, they're impressive. They hammered the Browns. The under in Philadelphia, Denver hit, and come on, the Chiefs absolutely slaughtered the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. So now I'm 24-26. I was 21-24 heading into this week, 24-26 overall, and over my last 6 weeks, I'm a scalding 23-12 against the spread. Your boy is hot. Chatsports.com/Bears. Use our promo code BEARDOWN to get going with BetUS. Other injury updates, Khalil Mack and Eddie Jackson here. Matt Nagy hoping that Mack and Jackson can return to play this week. Both have missed the past 2 games. Technically, Jackson played in that game 2 games ago against San Francisco, but he got hurt on the first play of the game, so he's basically missed the past 2 games. And Khalil Mack has not played at all the last 2 games. I was hopeful that Mack would return after the bye week, considering they didn't put him on IR. And let's be honest, with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens coming to Soldier Field, especially coming off a bad loss to the Dolphins, you know that's going to be a tough matchup for Chicago. Baltimore is going to be focused. Nagy didn't sound super optimistic on this. Now, maybe he's playing coy. Maybe he just doesn't want to give anything away this early in the week. But I would give this like 50-50 if these guys return. I mean, with Jackson, it's a hamstring. With Mack, he's been dealing with like a sprained foot for several weeks. So, you know, that's one of those tough ones, those foot injuries. He's been tremendous when he has played, and he's fought through injury through most of these games that he's played in this year before missing the last 2. I think that it's pretty clear the Bears have missed Mack during their past 2 losses. Eddie Jackson, say what you want about him. He's one of your best 2 safeties, in my opinion, so it's better if you have him on the field, even though he hasn't been the level of player we want him to be ever since he's gotten that contract. So it'd be nice to have these guys back. It'd be nice to have the defense be at or near full strength with Lamar and the Ravens coming to town. And let's be honest, at 3-6, if you want any hope of making the playoffs, you got to win this game coming up on Sunday. So predict the score, Ravens versus Bears for Sunday Night Football. Get your score predictions in. Let us know who you think is going to win and what the final score will be. And I'll be reading through the comments and seeing what you guys think on this one. All right, let's talk about next season before we sign off. Bleacher Report did an article of teams struggling in 2021 that could be contenders in 2022, and they listed the Bears as a team that could be one of those. And let's be honest, that's all because of Justin Fields, because he's continuing to improve every single week. That obviously provides hope for Bears fans that next year this team could be a contender if a couple of things fall into place, like potentially a new coaching staff. We'll see what happens on that front, obviously. I think this team should be good next year. I don't think there's any reason why the Bears can't be a playoff team in 2022. I mean, there are a couple of, weird breaks from being in the playoff hunt this year, and they're not completely out of it, although they obviously would have to play really well the rest of the way to make it this year. But there's no reason why they can't be a playoff team next year. And here's some reasons why you should be optimistic for next year. Justin Fields and his potential. You're seeing some of that potential play out in front of our eyes over the past few weeks. If he finishes this year strong, there's no reason why he can't play well next year, whether it's this coaching staff or another coaching staff. I think it'll be a new coaching staff, possible new coaching staff. I think that's a reason for optimism as well. Better offensive line. I think if these young guys get in here, get some reps, Jenkins, Borum, there's no reason why this unit can't be better a year from now, especially if you add a starting caliber center, which I think the Bears will. Schedule will be easier, especially assuming this team finishes second or third in the NFC North. The schedule this year was brutal, so it should be easier next year. Plus, 9 road games this year, 8 home games next year. I assume the NFL is going to alternate that with this new odd number game schedule, so it should be 9 home games next year. And then, hey, we don't know, but Aaron Rodgers, hopefully his last year in Green Bay this year, if that happens, then you're talking about winning the division next year, not just being a playoff contending team. So I think there's reasons to be optimistic, and it's up to the Bears to reach that potential in 2022. So what do you guys think? Will the Bears be a playoff team next year? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I don't see why they can't be, assuming Justin Fields continues to improve, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If we keep seeing performances like this from Fields, there's really no reason this team shouldn't make the playoffs because a really good quarterback can hide some of your roster deficiencies. And obviously the defense is aging a little bit, but there's still a lot of talent on that side. You know, we'll see what wide receiver looks like after Darnell Mooney next year. But Justin Fields, if his growth continues to play out like this, if we get this level of Justin Fields the rest of this season heading into next season, watch out because he could really help this team take off offensively. And look, at worst, the Bears are at least going to be a competent defensive team. Even if they're not quite as good as 2018, 2019, etc. This will at least be a competent team on defense. They're always good on that side of the ball. So it really comes down to Fields' development and what the coaching staff is. Is it the same staff? Is it a new one? Can you get a guy like Kellen Moore in here to help maximize this offense? That's what I would do, but obviously we'll see what happens on the coaching front. Either way, I think Justin Fields will give this team a great chance to be good next season. Make sure you guys subscribe before we sign off. I want to remind you we will be live on Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central Time with the latest Chicago Bears news and rumors. That's also where we answer all of your questions. You got to join us live, so subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central.